Hi, the American journalist Tucker Carlson has raised a furor in the Western world by suggesting that Iran, and by extension the Muslim world, should actually acquire a nuclear bomb. This is Maurice Odhiambo, the African teacher, right here in Nairobi, Kenya. Now, the conversation about the Muslim world or the African world acquiring a nuclear weapon is not new. Professor Ali Mazrui, in a 1989 article, actually spoke about the Muslim world acquiring a nuclear bomb and the African world acquiring a nuclear bomb for proper nuclear deterrence. Now, the article that was written by Ali Mazrui in 1989, another iconic article by Ali Mazrui, is called The Political Culture of War and Nuclear Proliferation, a Third World Perspective. Look for that article. It will tell you a lot of things. Anyhow, let's go to the conversation. Of course, this semester, I am teaching a course called Theory and Practice of International Security. So this is why I am going through my notes and seeing my sources. Where are they? Because I have to be ready. I want to enjoy this course. I want my students to really enjoy this course. Now, let's talk about the logic of nuclear deterrence. All right. So the logic of nuclear deterrence is very simple. A nuclear armed state cannot be attacked by another state. It's that simple. North Korea cannot be attacked by the US. Of course, it can be sanctioned. The West can mobilize against North Korea. They can make North Korea sound like something that is somewhere in the rubbish pit and so on and so forth. But they can never attack North Korea. Why? Because North Korea has the nuke. That is why. Now, you've heard so many times the US officials say Iran is a threat to the US and its security. That is purely absurd. It is the height of absurdity. Iran is not a threat to the US. Iran is a threat to US imperialism. Mark that difference. Iraq is not a threat to the US. It is a threat to US and Western imperialism, particularly in the Arab world. The US defense budget is about 60 times higher than that one of Iran. The US spends about $1 trillion every year on defense, whereas Iran spends only $1.5 billion. Of course, Iran has its own tactics and its own strategies. That is why the revolution, the Islamic revolution, has survived for this long. So you cannot compare at all. You will be comparing heaven and hell if you start comparing the capabilities of the US, even without talking about nuclear capabilities. You will be comparing things that cannot be compared when you look at US capabilities versus Iranian capabilities. But technology has also made a difference. Now, we know that a drone worth $20,000 today can finish off an aircraft carrier worth $2-3 trillion. All right? So the asymmetry of war is somehow being affected by technology, particularly what we call drone technology. So whereas you cannot compare these two, you must know that there are certain ways in which the US can actually be hurt by Iran in a conventional war, assuming, of course, that the US will not deploy nuclear bombs, the US will not destroy the Iranian civilization through such bombs the way it bombed Hiroshima and Nagasaki in Japan. So we are talking about conventional war, not nuclear war. So this, what Ali Mazrui expressed in his 1989 article, is a key question today in security. If you want to maintain a real balance of power, where all regions are equally equipped, then that is how we can have a real balance. And here, what I call it is, if you want a true balance of power, this is a realist concept, a true balance of power, then you must establish an effective international balance of terror so that each region, Africa, Latin America, Europe, America itself, Asia, each region has the nuclear bomb so that no region, no civilization will attack another one. This is Boris Odhiambo, the African teacher.